Hi friends, welcome to practice. So today's class is just under 60 minutes and we'll be working towards Bakasana crow pose, which is completely optional because all of the work that we do before crow pose is what actually matters. So we'll be waking up, warming up and strengthening and opening the hip flexors, the hamstrings. We'll be doing some core work and we'll be doing the shape of crow pose various times throughout class, just in ways that you might not normally think of it as being crow pose. So if you like foreshadowing, you can kind of pay attention to that throughout class. Otherwise, you can say, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to enjoy class. And that's fine too. Grab a couple of blocks for today's class, and we're going to start in a child's pose. Come a little bit more towards the back of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Separate your knees just to about shoulder width apart so you can rest your rib cage over your thighs. And as you come in, you can rest your arms in any way that feels best for now. Allow the eyes to soften or to close, whatever feels best. Invite a slow, deep breath in through the nose. And open your mouth. Let it go with an exhale or sigh. And now start to bring your attention inward onto your breath. If possible, find a steady breath in and out of your nose. Start to match the length of your inhales with your exhales. And just notice how it feels to breathe into the body today and how it feels to breathe out. And with your exhales, you might feel this sense of softening, of grounding, of letting go. And with your inhales, maybe there's this sense of opening and expanding. So can you use the breath to bring your attention inward to notice the qualities that are present in this moment? One more cycle of breath here. And then with your next inhale, crawl your arms out in front of you. And walk your hands so far forward that your forearms and elbows peel off the mat, coming into an extended child's pose. Every inhale, can you walk your hands a little bit further forward? Every exhale, feel your hips, your pelvis melt back towards your heels. Walk your hands so far forward that your arms are straight, forearms lift off the mat, and then keeping this distance between your hands and knees, lift your hips, and you should be in a tabletop with your hands a good foot in front of your shoulders. Do make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. Make sure your wrist creases are parallel to the top of your mat. Spin your inner arms, your inner shoulders forward, and squeeze your outer arms back and in. When you do that, maybe you feel how your thumb and index finger like to lift off the floor, so try both. Wrap the triceps, the outer arms back, but also press into the thumb and index finger. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Take a moment to arrive. If you like to pedal out your feet or move around in your first down dog, do so, starting to wake up the legs. If you feel the low back rounding, of course, take a bend in your knees so you can send your hips higher. Get longer from fingers to shoulders to hips. Relax the head and neck. And let's come back to the same arm and hand actions. Root down through your thumb and index finger. Keep that glued to the mat as you spin your inner arms, your biceps forward. Squeeze your outer arms back and in. Take a deep breath in. Stay for the breath out. As you inhale, rock forward, plank pose. Catch your hip shoulder height. Step your feet all the way together so your legs are together. Take an inhale here. Now as you exhale, shift your hips back towards your heels. It's like a crouching position, and separate your knees. Think child's pose. Inhale, rock forward, plank. Legs come together. Again, exhale, shift your hips back, try to stay low. Knees hover and they separate. Inhale, rock forward, plank. All right, let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, launch forward. I feel like like a wildcat or something. Exhale, shift back, and then inhale, launch or pounce forward, and then downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and deep breath out. Raise your right leg up. Bend your knee, open up the hip. Lift your right inner knee to the sky as you squeeze your left hip back in space. Take an inhale. Straighten the legs, square off the hips, and bring your right knee to your right upper arm. Step your foot outside your right hand. Get the knee over the ankle. Pause on fingertips or bring hands to blocks. Take a breath in, chest forward and up. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Back heel stays high. Modified pyramid. 2 more times. Inhale, bend the front knee. Drop the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rebend the front knee. Lower your back knee to the mat, point your toes. Lift your arms up, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Ground through your front heel, bend your front knee, and try to lift your front hip up and off your thigh. Interlace fingers overhead, press your palms up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lean over to your right, little side bend. Full breath in. Exhale, place your left hand down under the left shoulder. Stack your right arm over your left arm, twist. Reach your chest forward, and now tuck your back toes, lift the back knee. Keep bending the front leg as you push your left thigh up. Take another inhale. Top hand down, crawl inside your right foot. Turn your toes to the long edge of the mat. Rock forward, hips over heels. And now turn your left toes out to the left a little bit. Bend the left knee, side lunge, hips back, chest forward. If you're already ready for Skandasana, do so. You want your left heel on the ground though. It's okay if the knee goes past the ankle. Lift the chest, hands or no hands. Come through center, turn the right toes out, and then bend the right knee, side lunge. This might be plenty. If you're ready for Skandasana, go lower. Lift the chest, breathe in. Turn to frame the right foot, runner's lunge. Step your left foot forward. Bring your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Turn your toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, come into a squat. This could be an active squat, hips the height of your knees, or a deep squat, or you might be sitting on a block, but keep your heels down. Drop the weight in your heels and your hips. Lengthen the spine. Lift the chest. Full breath in, settle in. Plant your hands, exhale, fold. Turn your toes forward, parallel your feet. Bend your knees a lot and keep your knees bent as you roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Once your chin lifts, inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, maybe a little bend in the knees. Inhale, heart forward. Plant your hands and step your left leg back. Right leg back to a plank pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, drop to your knees. Lower your forearms to the mat. Make sure your elbows are right under your shoulders. Extend the right leg back. Float your foot off the ground. Spin the right inner thigh up as if I could place a teacup on your low back. Lift the pubic bone up towards the navel so you're not in a back bend, and push the floor away from you. Lift up and out of your chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your right upper arm. Don't even round the spine. The only thing moving is the right leg. Inhale, send the right leg back. Imagine you had a weight behind you. Exhale, tap the knee to the right upper arm to build our own resistance. Inhale, send the leg back. Exhale, tap. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, tap. Try to firm that left hip in. Let's do one more inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Lower the ball of the right foot down. Step your left leg back, plank on the forearms. We're here for about a minute, so feel free to drop to your knees at any point. Plug into the ground with your big toe mounds and use your legs. Press your thigh bones up towards the ceiling. Do that as you direct your tailbone to your heels. Really think of zipping up a pair of jeans. Lift the pubic bone up towards the navel. Do that as your tailbone lengthens towards the heels. So your front body is supporting the back body. And now press into your forearms, and can you push the floor away from you a little more? Feel your shoulders spread across your back rather than wing out. Reach your chest forward as you push the heels back. Move in 2 directions. We're almost there. Last 10. Keep the gaze steady. Keep the breath steady. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower to your belly. Point your toes. Sweep your arms back with your palms down. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your head, your chest, your shoulders. And now drop the gaze slightly so the back of the neck is long. Press down through the tops of your feet, every toenail, even the pinky toenails. And feel your quadriceps engage, the kneecaps lift. Roll the shoulders away from the floor. Take another full breath in. Keep your chest up, place your hands by your low ribs, elbows over wrist. Stay here, baby cobra, or inhale, upward facing. Lift your thighs, take a deep breath in. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Long breath in. Long breath out. Inhale the left leg up. Bend your knee, open the hip. As you lift the left inner knee to the sky, squeeze your right hip back in space. And now straighten your legs, square off the hips, take an inhale. Exhale, tap your knee to your left upper arm. Step your foot outside your left hand. Knee over the ankle, pause on fingertips or grab your blocks. Take a breath in. Back heel stays high, exhale, straighten the front leg. Long pyramid pose. Let's pulse through that. Inhale, bend the front knee, drop the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Chest up like you're doing a back bend. Exhale, straighten and fold. And now inhale, re-bend the front knee. Lower the back knee to the mat, point your toes. Come up to your low lunge. Reach your arms high. Stay to exhale, soften your front ribs down towards the frontal hip bones. Interlace fingers, opposite thumb on top, press your palms up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, side bend over to your left. Full inhale. Exhale, right hand down under the right shoulder. Reach your left arm high. Twist to your left. And now tuck your back toes and lift the back knee. Get longer from the crown of your head to your back foot. Spin your top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. One more inhale. Place your top hand down, crawl inside your front foot. Turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet to start, rock forward. And now turn the right toes out to the right, bend the right knee, side lunge. So think hips back. Then they might go lower. If you want to take Skandasana, do so. Hands or no hands. Take a breath in. Come through center, turn your left toes out. Bend the left knee. Side lunge, Skandasana. Keep your heel down, chest up. Take a breath in. Turn to frame your left foot, runner's lunge. Step your back foot forward. Bring your feet a little wider than hip bone apart. Turn your toes out a bit. Bend your knees and come to your squat. So again, could be an active squat. Could be deeper. Could be supported by a block or two. Keep the weight in your heels and your hips. Drop your sitting bones. Lift the chest. Lengthen your spine and relax the jaw. Take a full breath in. Plant your hands, exhale, fold. Turn your toes forward, parallel your feet. Bend your knees a lot. Knees stay bent the whole time that you roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once your chin lifts, inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at your hips, maybe a little bend in the knees. Inhale, heart forward. Plant your hands, step the right leg back. Left leg back, plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, drop to your knees, lower your forearms. Elbows are right under the shoulders. Extend the left leg back, float your foot off the ground and pause. Notice if your left toes are turning to the left. Spin your outer hip down so the hamstring is working, not the glute. Lift the low belly up and in. Push the floor away from you. Take an inhale. Exhale, tap your knee to your left upper arm. Try not to round the spine even though it's tempting. Inhale, send the left leg back. Just that left leg working. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, send it back. And exhale, bring it in. Keep pushing the floor away from you. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Your knee might tap your arm, might not. Doesn't really matter. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, send it back. Lower the ball of the left foot down and step the right foot back. We're in our favorite pose ever, plank on the forearms. Plug into the ground with your big toe mounts. Plug into the ground with your forearms, push the floor away from you, and feel how when you push down, your shoulders lift up. Your shoulders stay on your back, which is good. It means your shoulder girdle is supporting you. And now can you also not only push the floor away from you, but use your fingertips to reach your chest forward. Reach your chest forward as you push your heels back. And this is what we always want to feel in our planks, our low plank, chaturanga. Also arm balances, this balance of pushing and pulling. Lift your pubic bone up towards the navel. Lengthen the tailbone to the heel. Front body is like a tray supporting the back body. We're almost there. Take another deep breath in. Keep your eyes soft. Keep the jaw relaxed. And then exhale all the way to the belly. Point your toes. Sweep your arms back by your sides. Inhale, lift your head, your chest, your shoulders. Leading from the inner thighs, hover your legs off the ground. Spin your inner thighs up. That'll keep the low back broad and spacious. Do that as you lengthen your tailbone to the heels. If you feel this in the low back, press your pubic bone into the mat. Roll the fronts of the shoulders away from the floor. Take another inhale. Keep the height of your chest. Place your feet down. Place your hands down, elbows over a wrist. Stay here, baby cobra, or inhale, upward facing dog. Always your choice. Take a breath in. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Hips up and back. Take a long breath in. Stay for the breath out. One more inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet to your hands. You could step, hop, tiptoe, float. Reach your chest forward at the top. Exhale, fold. Come all the way to stand. Inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, arms by your sides. Find your mountain pose. Tadasana at the top of your mat. Now let's take a few rounds of sun A's. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, rock forward, heart forward. Plant your hands beside your feet, not in front of them. Step to your plank. Take a full breath in, heart forward. Exhale, lower halfway, catch yourself elbow height. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra on the belly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Press into every knuckle, every fingertip, send your hips high up towards the ceiling behind you. In particular, ground through the base of each index finger. Keep that as you spin your inner arms, inner shoulders forward and wrap your outer upper arms back and in. Almost like you're trying to hug your ears with your armpits. Take one more inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet to your hands, step, hop, or float. Lengthen at the top. Exhale, fold. Come all the way to stand. Inhale, rise. And exhale, arms by your sides. Same thing, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold, lift your knees and thighs if your legs are straight. Inhale, lengthen. Plant your hands beside your feet, step or hop to bend elbows, chaturanga. Come through your vinyasa. Move with your breath. We'll meet in downward facing. So if you've practiced with me before, you've heard me say that your vinyasa could be that, low push-up chaturanga into up dog to down dog. But it could also be dropping to the knees in plank, lowering to the belly. Could be taking baby cobra instead of up dog. It could be stepping to plank and then taking a few cat-cows and then coming to down dog. And there's no one way to do any pose or set of movements. Make your practice about listening. What does my body actually need? Not just, what did I do yesterday? What do I always do? One more inhale, push back. End of your exhale, feet to your hands, step or hop. Lengthen at the top. Exhale, fold. Press up to stand, root to rise, reach up. And exhale, arms by your sides. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rock forward, reach your heart forward. Plant your hands, step or hop to bent elbows, chaturanga. Come through your vinyasa, move with your breath, and we'll meet in Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here, a full breath out. Leading from the inner thigh, raise your right leg up. So it doesn't matter how high your right leg goes, that doesn't make you a better yogi, but dial all the right toes to the floor, lead from the inner thigh rather than the outer hip. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Step your right foot forward. Get toes in line with fingers. Be heel to heel, not on a tightrope. I always inch my foot to the right. Rise up to a high crescent lunge. Take a little bend in your back knee to start. Ground through your front heel, and as you bend your front leg, work towards making your front thigh parallel to the mat. Lift the pubic bone up towards the navel. Take an inhale. Exhale, cactus your elbows. Cross the right arm over the left, eagle arms, or give yourself a hug if that feels too strong. Start to push your left thigh back. Keep bending the front knee. Now keep your eyes steady, keep your arms, take an inhale. Exhale, big step. Step your left foot forward, chair pose with eagle arms. Feet can be hip width apart. They can be together with a little space between the heels. Go down and back with your hips. Go up with your chest. Keep the weight in the heels and the hips. One more inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, step your left leg back. Spin the back heel down, be heel to heel or wider. Rise up to warrior one. Back foot's at about a 45-degree angle. Bend your front leg. In warrior one, make your back leg super straight, so we never want to bend the back knee in warrior one, or else that puts pressure on the inside of the knee. Ground through the front heel, feel that lift in the low belly. Lift the pubic bone. Reach your arms up. Take one more inhale, maybe look up, maybe touch palms. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step to your plank. Come through your vinyasa. Leading from the inner thigh, inhale the left leg up. Again, dial all the toes to the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Step your left foot forward. Get toes in line with fingers. Maybe you inch it to the left. Give yourself space in the lunge. Inhale, rise up to your high crescent lunge. Stay to exhale. Take a little bend in the back knee. Ground through your front heel. Work towards making a 90-degree angle with your front thigh. Lift your frontal hip bones up towards the front ribs and imagine you could hook your tailbone to your front heel. And now cactus your elbows. Cross the left arm over the right. Eagle arms, or give yourself a hug. One is not better than the other. Take what feels right for you. Start to push the right thigh back. Make the back leg a little straighter. Keep bending the front knee. Another inhale. Now keep your gaze steady. Step your right foot forward. Find that funky chair pose with your eagle arms. Spin your inner thighs back. Go down and back with the hips, up with your arms. Another deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, heart forward. Plant your hands, step the right leg back. Spin the back heel down to a 45-degree angle. Be heel to heel or wider. Rise up to warrior one. So we always work from the ground up. If your feet aren't aligned, then once you get into the pose, you're gonna have to do so much fidgeting around. So align your feet first, and then your legs. Bend the front knee. Ground through the left heel. Try pressing into the pinky side of your back foot as you push the right thigh back, straighten the back leg. Lift the pubic bone up and in. One more inhale, reach up, maybe look up, touch palms. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step to your plank, come through your vinyasa, which could be coming straight to down dog. Take a full breath in and let that go as you breathe out. Take a deep breath in through your nose and stay for the breath out, keeping some of that warmth in the body. Inhale, raise the right leg up. Let's keep going. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, rise up to a high crescent lunge. Stay as you exhale, ground through the front heel, find your balance. Take a breath in. Exhale, eagle wrap, right arm over the left arm or give yourself a hug, make it work for you. Now keep the weight in the front heel, keep your gaze very steady. Take an inhale, start to lean forward a little bit, and then can you launch forward and stand on your right leg, bring your left knee to your chest. Push down through the right foot, eagle wrap left leg over right. Little bend in the standing leg. You could rest those left toes on a block of the ground. You could take a half or work on your full bind. Doesn't matter, squeeze your legs together. Go down and back with the hips, up with your heart. Another breath in. Now can you stand all the way up on your right leg? Unravel, bring the left knee to your chest. Stand up a little taller as you breathe in. Exhale, step your left leg back. Lean forward, step the left leg back. Take a full breath in. And exhale, straighten the front leg, turn your toes to the long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet to start, spread your arms out wide. From deep within the right hip socket, turn the right toes forward, spin your left heel back. Bend your front leg, get your knee over your ankle and then reach over your thigh. Place your right forearm on your thigh, left arm up, side angle. Make sure your front knee's over your ankle. Make sure it's over the second and third toe. Squeeze your right hip in and under towards the wall you're facing as you push the left thigh back. No bend in the back leg. Wrap your top arm behind you. Take a half bind. Use your inhales to get longer from the crown of your head to your back foot. Use your exhales to twist open. Spin your top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. So we're turning our chest towards the long edge of the mat, but without letting the front knee come along for the ride. Keep firming the right hip in and under. With your next inhale, raise your top arm to the sky, turn the palm forward, swim your top arm up and over your ear, and exhale, hands to the mat, step to your plank, come through your vinyasa or straight to downward facing. Your body always tells you what it needs. Listen to what your body needs. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose and step forward. Rise up to your high crescent lunge as you breathe in. Stay to exhale, find your balance, let yourself be steady in one spot. Inhale here. Exhale, eagle wrap left arm over right or give yourself that big hug. Now start to lean forward. Take an inhale, think about launching forward. Stand on the front leg, bring the right knee to the chest. And then pause, root down through the standing foot. Eagle wrap right leg over left. There's a bend in your standing leg. You could rest those right toes on a block, the ground. You could take a half bind or full bind. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Go down and back with the hips, up with your chest. And now start to stand all the way up on your left leg. Right knee to the chest. Find your balance, take an inhale. Little bend in the standing leg, step your right leg long and back. So the hips go back, heart goes forward. Move in two directions even when you're stepping forward and back. Full breath in. Straighten your front leg, turn your toes to the long edge of the mat. So now your chest is square to the long edge of your mat. Keep that as you turn your left toes forward. Spin the right heel back. Bend your front knee as if you're coming towards warrior two, and then lean over your thigh. Left forearm on the thigh, palm up, right arm up. Pause, check in with your stance. Is your front knee over your ankle? Is it in line with your second toe? Press into your outer back foot as you straighten the back knee. Wrap your top arm behind you, half bind. Use the bind to roll the right shoulder back. With your inhales, get longer from the crown of your head to your back heel. And with your exhales, twist open. Spin your top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Stay for another breath. Inhale, reach your top arm up, turn the palm forward, wrap the tricep in, swim your top arm up and over, and then hands to the mat. Nice work. Step to your plank, vinyasa, or straight to downward facing. Take a long breath in And as you exhale, drop to your knees. Come to a child's pose or sitting on your shins, whatever feels best. Let's take about 5 breaths. And if you're in child's pose or any other pose that feels best right now, just let the eyes soften or close. And come back to the breath. And take a moment to check in. Notice what qualities are present. Do you feel a little warmer? Maybe a little more open? Maybe even though we've been doing all this movement, you still feel a little more grounded or connected. So feel the effects of your practice. And let's take about 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then crawl your hands forward. Meet me back in downward facing. We're gonna run through that little standing piece one final time, adding on a couple of layers. Do make sure your blocks are near the top of your mat. You may need them, you may not, but always nice to have them handy for where we're going. Take a full breath in through your nose and open your mouth, let it go. All right, we'll start the same way. Inhale, raise the right leg up. Exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Step your right foot forward. Rise up to your high lunge as you inhale. Stay as you exhale, find your balance. Eagle wrap right arm over left arm. Take an inhale, start to lean forward. Hover your ribs over your front thigh. Hug your right hip back and in towards the left heel so that front knee's over the ankle, over the second toe. Now we're coming towards warrior 3. You can try it with eagle arms, or you can say, no thank you, hands to heart center, or hands to your blocks. Take a breath in. Lunge forward, stand on the front leg, float your back leg off the mat. Little bend in the standing leg, fire up your back leg. Spin the left inner thigh up, the outer hip down. Lift your front ribs away from the floor. Now keep a little bend in the standing leg. This is where you might want to bring hands to blocks. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your left knee into your chest. Inhale, push the leg back. Imagine you had a heavy weight behind that left foot. Exhale, bring your knee to the chest. Always feel free to bring hands to blocks. Inhale, send the left leg back. Exhale, knee to the chest, pause. Stand all the way up on the right leg. Left knee in. Raise your arms. I know that right leg is tired. Take an inhale. Little bend in the standing leg. Step back, warrior 1. Full breath in, reach up. Straighten the front leg. Turn your toes to the long edge of your mat. Turn the right toes forward. Spin the left heel back. Bend your front knee. Right forearm on the thigh, palm up, left arm high. Wrap your left arm behind you, half bind. You could stay here, this could be plenty, or work on your full bind. Either way, ground through your front heel. Firm your right hip in and under towards the wall you're facing to keep the front knee over the second toe. Keep that. Can you turn your chest open rather than down? Every inhale, get longer from the crown of your head to your back foot. And every exhale, twist open. Stay for another breath. Release your bind. Bring your right hand to a block outside the right foot. Straighten the right leg and raise your left arm up for a triangle. Press into the ball of the right foot, the big toe mound. Squeeze your right hip back and in towards the left heel as you push the left thigh back. Send your sternum forward. Get longer from the crown of your head to your hips. Top ribs spin back, bottom ribs forward. Last breath here, get rooted through your feet. And then use the strength of your legs, bend your front knee, come up to warrior 2. Soften your eyes, your shoulders, your jaw. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, full breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step to your plank. Vinyasa. Your vinyasa could be straight to downward facing. Full breath in. Let that side go as you breathe out. Come into this final side with a fresh beginner's mind. Inhale, raise your left leg up. Exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Step your left foot forward. Rise up to your high lunge. Stay for a breath. And then eagle wrap left arm over right. or give yourself that hug. Start to lean forward, hover over your thighs. Squeeze the left hip back and in, that front knee's over the second toe. Push your right thigh up. This is where you might say, no more eagle arms, hands to heart center, or your blocks. Take a breath in. Launch forward, stand on your front leg, float the back foot off the mat. I like a little bend in the standing leg. Spin the right inner thigh up, the outer hip down. Reach the chest forward, take an inhale. Now this is where you might want to bring hands to blocks. Exhale, bring the right knee to the chest. Inhale, push it back. Make sure there's a bend in the standing leg. Exhale, knee to the chest. One more time, inhale, push back. Exhale, knee to your chest, pause. Stand all the way up on your left leg. Ooh, it's getting tired, it's getting wobbly. Reach your arms up. Take a breath in, stand up taller. Step your right leg back, warrior one. Take a full breath in, reach up. Straighten the front leg. Turn your toes to the long edge of the mat. Reach your arms out wide. Turn the left toes forward. Spin the right heel back. Bend your front knee. Left forearm on the thigh, right arm up. Wrap your top arm behind you, half bind. This might be plenty. Feel free to stay with your half bind if the full bind is part of your practice. If you feel like it serves you today, go ahead and take it. Now inside angle, we're trying to turn our chest open. If you're in the full bind and you feel like you can't breathe or you feel collapsed, maybe stick with the half. Make sure your front knee's over the ankle in line with the second toe. Reach your chest forward as you press into your outer back foot. Spin your top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. One more breath in, get planted through your feet. And now place that left hand on a block outside your left foot. Start to straighten the front leg. Raise your right arm up for Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Press into your left big toe mound. Squeeze your left hip back and in towards the right heel and push the right thigh back. Reach your sternum forward, get longer from the crown of your head to your pelvis as you breathe in. Twist open as you exhale, top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Keep your front ribs drawing in, one more breath. Use the strength of your legs, come up, bend your front knee. Warrior two. Soften your eyes over your left fingers. Steady the breath. Flip the front palm, tip up and back. Full breath in. And exhale, release. Step to your plank. Come through your vinyasa. Take a deep breath in here. And a gentle breath out. One more inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet to your hands, step or hop. Lengthen at the top. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, raise your arms. Chair pose. And then sit a little lower. A little lower. Maybe without using your hands, sit all the way down. Okay. So, good news is we're sitting down. Lay on your back. Not so good news is we're going to do just a little core work. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, a little rock left and right. Keep your feet together, but now bring your knees about shoulder width apart. And you might notice this looks a lot like child's pose. It also kind of looks like crow pose. Hint, hint, where we're going. Raise your arms up, arms shoulder width apart, palms forward. Lift your head, your shoulders, your upper back off the mat, and feel free at any point to hold your head with your hands. There's no problem with that. Bring your knees as close into your armpits as you can. Drop your heels as close to your hips as you can. And now I want you to imagine that there was a heavy, heavy weight in front of you. And as you inhale, push your legs forward. Your legs will come together. As you exhale, knees separate, bring your knees into your armpits. Inhale, push that weight forward. So we don't actually have weights. You have to create your own resistance. Exhale, knees to armpits. Inhale. Exhale. So if there was a heavy weight in front of you, you probably wouldn't be going too fast. Let's do 5 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, push that weight forward. Exhale, knees to armpits. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, you've got this. One more time, take an inhale, push the weight forward. Exhale, knees to armpits. Lay all the way down. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze, and then bring your hands behind your thighs, rock and roll up and down the length of your mat. Get a little momentum. We're gonna come to a squat. If you'd like to play with rocking up and coming to a squat without using your hands, big exhale, rock up. And if it's not happening, you bring your hands behind you and help you. And now come about 2 feet behind the top of your mat and find your squat. So again, maybe it's a more active squat. Maybe your deep squat feels a little better now that we've done all that standing work. Maybe you're sitting on a block. Make sure your heels are down, hands to heart center. Now, classical malasana from the Ashtanga tradition is with your feet all the way together. That doesn't make sense for, I'd say, most people, so don't force this. If you're one of those rare people that has the ankle and the hip mobility to bring your feet together, heels down, try classical malasana. If not, make the pose work for you, and then bring hands to heart center. This pose, you might notice, also kind of looks like crow pose. Also kind of looks like what we just did on our back. Also looks like that plank to that crouching position that we did what feels like 10 years ago at the very beginning of class. Hands to heart center, drop your sitting bones, lift your chest. Now squeeze your outer arms with your inner thighs, engage your adductors. So this is crow pose. You could stay here if you wanna take actual crow pose, the arm balance. Plant your hands a foot in front of you, shoulder width apart. My hands are not super close to my feet, good foot. Lift your heels, get your knees as close to your armpits as you can. In crow pose, your elbows bend. So bend your elbows like chaturanga, the low push-up position. Push the floor away from you, but grip the mat with your fingers, pull your chest forward, and then you might lift 1 foot at a time or 2 feet off the ground. Bakasana. Push and pull. Pull your chest forward, heels to hips, try to hold for 3. For 2, now you can stay here, step to plank, or throw your chest forward, hop your feet to bend elbows. Chaturanga. If you were holding a squat, fold forward and come to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Allow the eyes to soften, maybe to close for a breath or so. Come back to your breath. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, drop to your knees. Swing your feet off to one side. All right. Come to lay down on your back. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Have your feet about hip width apart with your knees over your ankles. We did a lot of flexion today, so bringing the knees into the chest, that kind of work. So now let's just open the front body a little bit. Rest your arms by your sides. Press into your heels, and as you inhale, scoop your hips up, bridge pose. If you'd like a supported bridge, place a block under your sacrum the wide way. Shrug your shoulders under but not down your spine. If you like to interlace fingers behind the low back or grab the outer edges of your mat, do so. Ground through your heels to lift your hips and your thighs. Ground through your outer shoulders to lift the chest. And our inner thighs are still active. Spin your inner thighs down as if you were squeezing a block. Direct your tailbone to your heels. And just like our inner thighs were active in eagle pose, in warrior 3, in crow pose, in our squats. 1 more breath in. Exhale, slowly lower hips to the ground. Just keep your hips down for a moment. Not doing anything too different with the spine yet, because we'll do 1 more bridge pose. So we do a lot of the same movements and shapes in yoga. They might just look a little bit different, but it's interesting to start to notice these patterns, how we build up for things, how we warm up the body. Rest your arms by your sides. Inhale, lift your hips. If you interlace fingers, do the opposite interlace. Shrug your shoulders under, but not down your spine. Get on top of your outer upper arms as much as you can. Press into the heels, lift the hips. The chest. Without actually moving your feet, energetically drag your heels back to engage the hamstrings. You might even lift your toes off the mat. Take one more breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees wide. Baddha Konasana or Supta Baddha Konasana. And if you'd like to slide a block underneath each thigh, do so. Take a full breath in here and stay for the breath out. And just start to feel your energy come down as you breathe down into the belly and the pelvic bowl. And now from here, bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Cross your right knee over your left knee, crossing at the thighs, and bring your arms out wide to a T or in a cactus shape with palms up. Shift your hips a little bit to the right and drop your knees to the left, finding a twist. Your gaze might stay up, it might go over that right arm, do what feels best for the neck. You might allow the eyes to soften or to close. Take a deep breath in through your nose. A gentle breath out, letting go of any gripping in the hands or the fingers. And now as you inhale, make your way back towards center, uncross your legs, place your feet on the ground. Cross the left knee over the right, crossing at the thighs. Shift your hips a little bit off to the left and then drop your knees to the right, finding your twist. Gaze can stay up, it can look to the left. If you feel that the mind is wandering, getting more active as we start to slow down and come towards the end of class, acknowledge that. Maybe you're going into future planning mode. And rather than judging that, just simply notice that, and then can you let yourself soften into this moment as it is? As you inhale, come back towards center. Uncross your legs. Find the midline of your mat. Draw your knees into your chest. Raise your arms and your legs up towards the ceiling. Curl your fingers and make gentle fists with your hands and just roll out the wrist and ankles a few times. And go both directions. And then flex and extend, so spreading the fingers and the toes, flexing and extending at the wrist and the ankles. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself one final squeeze, maybe curl up into that little ball. Give yourself one final hug, bringing gratitude towards the body. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, extend your legs long on the mat, rest your arms by your sides. So we'll take a short Shavasana. Gather any props you need, and if you'd like to pause this video to take a longer Shavasana, go ahead and do so now. Let your eyes soften or close, whatever feels best. Relax the jaw, the throat, the tongue, the chest, the belly, and the hips. Invite a slow, deep breath in through the nose. Send the breath down into the belly and pelvic bowl. And then exhale, let it go. Let go of any forced breath and keep your attention on the natural rhythm of your breath here. Start to deepen your breath. Invite small, gentle movements back into the body, just wiggling fingers and toes. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Roll onto one side of your body, and slowly using your hands to prop yourself up, we'll meet in a seated posture with our eyes closed or the gaze soft. In your seats, plug your sitting bones into the earth, lengthen the spine, and keeping the lift, that openness in your chest. As you inhale, bring your palms together in front of the heart. Exhale, lower the chin. Bowing to both the student and the teacher within. Namaste.